George Clooney, one of Hollywood's most beloved and successful actors, has always been a subject of fascination when it comes to his love life. The man who once said he would never get married shocked the world when he tied the knot with the stunning human rights lawyer, Amal Clooney, in 2014. They seemed like the perfect power couple, both accomplished in their own fields, both physically stunning, and both actively involved in causes they were passionate about. But despite their public displays of affection and seemingly perfect relationship, George has recently opened up about the cracks in their relationship and the reason why he believes they can never be together again, as well as the shocking reason behind his infidelity. When George Clooney married Amal, it felt like the world had been waiting for this moment. After years of playing the role of Hollywood's most eligible bachelor, George settled down with Amal in a whirlwind romance that captured the attention of not just the entertainment industry, but the world. Their wedding was one of the most talked about events of the year, with guests like Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Cindy Crawford in attendance. Amal, with her intelligence and beauty, became more than just George's wife, she became an icon in her own right. While George's career was cemented in Hollywood, Amal's legal work, especially in advocating for human rights and women's issues, put her on the international stage. Together, they appeared unstoppable, achieving milestones both individually and as a couple. However, behind the public persona of a happy marriage, there were difficulties brewing, difficulties that George recently spoke about. In a candid and emotional interview, George opened up about the turmoil he has experienced in his marriage to Amal. According to him, while they have an incredibly strong connection and share a deep love for each other, their relationship has been strained by differing paths in life. George admits that as time went on, it became increasingly clear that his priorities and Amal's were growing apart. While Amal continued to rise in her professional career, George found himself increasingly drawn to his life as a father. Their busy schedules, as well as Amal's intense career, made it challenging to maintain a connection on a day-to-day basis. George confessed that despite their best efforts, the love they once shared had transformed into something unrecognizable. It wasn't that he didn't love Amal, he emphasized. It was more about the fact that both of them had evolved into different people. For George, the idea of revisiting their relationship was impossible because they had both changed so much. Now, here's where things get a little more complicated. In this same interview, George admitted to infidelity during the early years of their marriage. While it's always shocking to hear about cheating in a relationship, especially one as public as George and Amal's, George's explanation is even more heartbreaking. According to George, the cheating wasn't something he was proud of, but it was something that happened when he felt emotionally detached from the relationship. With the increasing strain between him and Amal, George turned to someone else, hoping that it would fill the void that he felt inside. He explained that the infidelity wasn't a result of a lack of attraction to Amal, it was about his personal dissatisfaction and emotional confusion. He was lost, unsure of how to handle the growing divide between his personal life and his career. The affair was an unfortunate consequence of his inability to process his emotions, a mistake he deeply regrets. George went on to say that he would have preferred to be more open with Amal at the time, to have addressed the issues before they escalated to this point. However, instead of being forthright, he allowed the distance to grow, eventually leading to the affair. He acknowledges that it was a betrayal, and while Amal eventually forgave him, he couldn't erase the damage it caused to their connection. So, how did Amal react to all of this? While she hasn't spoken publicly about the infidelity or George's comments, insiders close to the couple suggest that Amal was devastated when she found out. The couple did, however, go to therapy, and it's said that they worked through the pain, but the emotional scars remained. Their dynamic began to shift, with Amal focusing even more on her career while George threw himself into his humanitarian work. However, it wasn't just their careers that affected their marriage, it was the immense pressure of public scrutiny. Being a high-profile couple in the public eye had its own set of challenges, and George admitted that the weight of maintaining a perfect image added even more strain to an already fragile relationship. Now, both George and Amal are focused on their individual paths. George has openly stated that they are no longer in the place they once were, and while they continue to co-parent their twins, their relationship remains fractured. George emphasized that despite everything, he respects Amal deeply for the person she is and all she has accomplished, but he has come to terms with the reality that their marriage couldn't withstand the pressures that came with it. Amal, meanwhile, is continuing her work in international law, and George is committed to his foundation and his growing family. Their relationship may not have worked out, but they still maintain a bond based on respect and love for their children. Well, that's it for today's story. We'd love to know what you think about George's confession and his thoughts on his marriage to Amal. Do you think they can ever be friends again, or is it truly over? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more juicy celebrity updates. See you next time.